Hi, everybody. I want to welcome you to the end of May. And I know it's been a few days since I posted a video. I've had some interesting things going on in personal and professional life. But today I want to talk about your first week as a new CIO, IT director, vice president of IT, whatever your title is. What are you going to try to knock out in the first week? I think that answer probably varies depending on the situation that you're jumping into. For me, one of the foundational things would be understanding what talent you have available to you. Who's responsible for what today? What skills do they have? What experience do they have? What's in our service catalog? What's not in our service catalog? Do we even have a service catalog? I would want to know where people see themselves today. Does my team feel adequately trained? Do they feel like they're experts on their systems? What can I do to help them? I know I'm going to get a comment back that says, Rich, you're wrong here. People tend to overrate themselves when asked whether or not they're experts on a given system, especially around a new guy, that sort of old dress to impress analogy. I'm not sure that it matters though, right? You're building a skill inventory. You're creating a draft of what you have available to you and where those gaps might be. Does it matter that someone isn't the expert and that they claim to be an expert in VMware administration or NAC or pick your platform? Well, no, not if I can get the training budget to help them become an expert or create efficiencies to give them time to become an expert. What it does mean is that I know who to call. I know that they likely have enough knowledge to be able to call tech support at whatever technology company we're talking about and have a fruitful conversation if things happen to be hitting the fan. I can build a RACI matrix of the people that are within my organization. When I took on a role years ago of an IT operations director, and I was talking to my team, I asked them all during that first week, what is the one thing that could improve your efficiency or the group's efficiency? I did it a second time around as a cybersecurity director. Although with a much larger staff, I took that question initially into a team meeting and did a live anonymous survey. I did get around to talking to everybody, but I thought that was very telling, right? These folks have been here for years. They've been doing the job. They know where the inefficiencies are, or some of the inefficiencies are. They're a great point of reference, right? They're a great point of reference for everything that's in the existing IT landscape. They might or might not know the underlying systems. They might or might not know the underlying infrastructure. They might or might not know where those dusty policies that haven't been touched in years are. They're going to know what the risk profile is like for the organization. So I think it's really important during the first week to know who you've got on your team. I think it also helps to start having conversations throughout the organization if you can find out what the organization's business requirements are. What does the business need from IT or cybersecurity to be successful? What aren't they getting today? What roadblocks do they have? What risks does the business see? What risks do the stakeholders see, right? Can we get to it all in 1 week? Probably not. But we can start understanding the various stakeholders and what their priorities are. In many organizations, IT and cybersecurity are cost centers. We're there to support organizations. We're there to ensure that the business is successful, that risks are minimized, mitigated, or accepted where possible. And we're there to help them do whatever they do in a responsible way successfully, right? I think that requires a little bit of filing away what you think you know about the company and actually starting to get a lay of the land, whether it's the business stakeholders or your own staff. For me, it helps to have a bit of a mental and a physical map of who those stakeholders are, and really to start documenting their priorities and expectations from your organization to figure out what we're actually going to do in week 2. So that's sort of 2, 3, 4 thoughts for me. What do you have? First day as a new CISO or CIO, what's on your docket? Leave me a comment. All the best. Hope you have a great start to June.